So good morning. So we are discussing the concept of exception handling in Java. So we have seen the try block, catch block, finally block, and then we have seen the difference between throw as well as throws. And then we have seen the exception handling superclass is throwable. Throwable is a superclass for all the exception handling methods or any user defined things. So all the exception handling classes will inherit the properties from throwable class. Throwable is a main class here. For exception handling, throwable is a main class. We have seen the methods in the throwable class, and then we have seen the classes hierarchy, and then we have seen the concepts of checked exceptions as well as unchecked exceptions, and then we have seen the multiple catch blocks, and then we have seen the concepts of uh, user defined exceptions. We can create our own exceptions, and then we have seen the inheritance concepts while handling the exception handling. While handling the exceptions, so how the superclass and subclasses can throw the exceptions. So we have seen the all the cases, and then we have seen the previous concept is catching the subclass exceptions, and then we have seen the try with resources. Also we have seen the try with resources. So try block can have the some parentheses. That means within the parentheses we can have the file open and file close. That means resources means either it may be file or database or some internet connectivity. All these things are comes under resources. So usually programmer can forget to close the resources. That's why an interface is defined after the Java version 7, auto closable interface. So auto closable interface. So the try with resources block will implement the uh, auto closable interface. So auto closable interface can have the method close. So automatically the resources can be closed. There is no need to close f open f close in the Java. After the Java version 7, we don't need to close the resources. So the try block itself automatically close the resources. Why? Because it can implement the interface auto closable. So we have seen all these things, and we have seen the user defined exceptions also. We can create our own exceptions also, and we can have the what happens when the superclass throws the exception, what happens when the subclass throws the exception. We have seen all these cases, and then now, so we are going to complete the exception handling today. So there are two more concepts. So let remember this one. Remember this class hierarchy. So this is very, very important. Object, throwable, then exception, under exception, runtime exception. Under runtime exception, arithmetic exception, class cast exception, array exception. So follow this order. It is very, very essential in inheritance concept. While inheriting the concepts, we have to identify the which is the subclass and which is the superclass for this exception. Then throws, try block, catch block, finally block, multiple catch blocks can be implemented by using the logical Boolean OR operator. And then class throwable, it is the superclass. And then methods supported by the throwable class. Unchecked exceptions, these are the list of unchecked exceptions. And then these are the list of checked exceptions, and we have seen some programs regarding checked exceptions and unchecked exception. Then we have seen the try with resources. So we have seen some program for try with resources also, and then catching subclass exceptions. What happens when you throw the exception in the subclass? That means overridden method. What happens when the overridden method throws the exception? What happens when the superclass throws the exception? So all these cases we have seen, and the custom exceptions also we have seen. How to create our own exceptions. So we have seen some program also. Next one is, so next concept is nested try block. So nested try block is nothing but a try block within the a try block consists of another try block. That is called nested try block. So let us see the example. So let us see the example for nested try block. So let us save this. We'll get the colors. Try.java. So generally try block has some block of statements and then immediately followed by the catch block. Immediately followed by the catch block. So this is the normal catch block. So here nested try block means this try block consists of another try block. That means this one. This try block consists of another try block. Another try block. So this try block can have the immediately catch block. So this is the nested try block. So this is the outer try block. This try block consists of another try block. So if you want to nested another try block means, so within the try block we have the another try block. Within the try block we have another try block. So this is the try block. This is the catch block for this try block. So see this one. So check this one. This is the nested try block. So let us identify the inner try block and outer try blocks. So let us see this one. So this is the innermost try block. So this is the innermost try block. So this try block can have the catch block. So this is the innermost try block. So this is the outer try block. This is the outer try block. So this is the main try block. Main try catch block. So this one try. So immediately nested try block means all these try blocks will come. So three nested try blocks means three try blocks are there. That means three catch blocks will be there. 1, 2, 3. So here we have to make sure that the braces are carefully given. So why? Because here each try block has some braces. Each catch block can have the braces. So this itself nested in the another try block. That means that is one block. So while giving the braces, it's very essential to recheck the braces whether we have placed the correctly or not. So this is the concept of nested try catch blocks. That means a try block can have the another try block. So that is called the concept of nested try block. Let us see one program regarding that. Nested try block. So let us see this program. So class nested try. So this is the main class. So here I am defining the main method. So main class, main method. And then I am declaring some local array. I am declaring the array and initializing the array. Array name is A. Array elements are 6, 7. So here I am storing the 2 elements in the array A. And then I am using the try block. So this is the outer try block. So this is the inner try block. So the try block consists of another try block. So this is the nested try block. So let us see, I have written some printf statements. entered outer try block. So to know the where the control is, then I have written some printf statements. So I am at the outer try block. Then this try block consists of another try block. So here also I am written some printf to know the where the control goes. Entered inner try block. So it is entered into the inner try block. Then I am using the printing the array elements. So array name is A. I am printing the array elements. System.out.println A of I. A of I. Array, I am going to print the array elements. So I less than or equal to 2. So I value 0. I value starts with 0. Then I value 1. Then I value 2. I value 2. But we have only 2 elements, 6, 10. So in the 0th position, 6 will be stored. In the first position, 7 will be stored. So what about the second position? What about the second position? So it will raise the exception. Then if you give the I less than or equal to 2, then it will raise the exception. So why? Because array index out of bound exception. So here array elements are 2, but array index is given up to 3. That means it raises the some exception. So it raises the exception. So if it don't raise the exception, that means if the loop is I less than is equal to 2, then this will be printed and exiting the inner try block. Exiting the inner try block. So if the exception arises, immediately the control goes to the catch block. So here I am writing the array index out of bound exception. So exception object is E. I am printing that object E, and then I am printing the exiting the inner catch block. So to know the way the control goes, then I am writing some printf statements, exiting the inner catch block. So this is the catch block corresponding to the inner try block. So this is the try catch block. This is the inner try catch block. This is the inner try catch block. So in the inner try catch block, we are going to print the array. In the inner try block, we are going to print that array. So in the corresponding catch block, we are going to we are going to handle the exception. If any exception happens in the try block, that will be handled in the corresponding catch block. So that is going to happen here. So this is the inner try block. So let us see the program. So here I am reinitializing the values n is equal to 5 and j is equal to 2. I am initializing some values. So these values are at outer try block. So this is the inner try block. This is the inner try block. So this is the these statements are in the outer try block. So here I am initializing some variables. N is equal to 5 and j is equal to 2. Next I am going to repeat the loop. If the j is equal to 2 and j greater than or equal to 0 and j minus minus, then I am going to print the n by j. So n by j means n value is 5 by j value is 2. Initially the loop starts with 2, 5 by 2. So first 5 by 2 will be repeated. So next what happens, j value is decremented. So n value is 5 only. So j value decremented means 5 by 1. So next loop repeated whenever the j value greater than or equal to 0. That means loop repeated up to 5 by 1, 5 by 0, 5 by 0. So then it raises the exception. So j greater than or equal to 0 means it raises the exception. It raises the exception. So this is placed in the try block, outer try block. So there is a chance of exception. That's why it is placed in the outer try block. So whenever this exception arises, then immediate catch block will be executed. So I am printing that exception object E. Exception object E. So this is the overall program for nested try block. So the try block consists of another try block. So that is nested try block. So I am closing the try block and then I am closing that main method and I am closing the class. So this is the nested try block. So let us see the output. So Java C program name is nested try dot Java. Java nested try. So let us check this output along with the program. So let us see this. Let us check the output along with the program. So first entered outer try block. Entered outer try block. So this statement is executed. So this statement is executed. Next, after executing this statement, the control enters into that inner try block. The control enters into the inner try block. So this statement will be executed. Entered inner try block. So this statement is executed. Then I am going to print the array elements. Then I am going to print the array elements. So this is printing the array elements. 6, 7 are the array elements that is printed. Next, the control, whenever the control goes to I is equal to 2, whenever the control comes to I is equal to 2, I is equal to 2, then the exception arises. Then exception arises. Then immediately control goes to the corresponding catch block. Immediately control goes to the corresponding catch block. So in that catch block, I am printing the exception object. So this is the exception object I am printing, and then exiting the inner catch block. So I have written the exiting the inner catch block. So catch statement is executed. Catch statement is executed. So then after this, this statement is not executed. So why? Because Java is a termination model. Java follows the termination model. That means whenever the exception arises, the control goes to the corresponding catch block. The remaining statements will not be executed in that block. So that is the concept of termination model. So Java follows the termination model. So this statement is not executed and the corresponding catch block statements are executed. And then what happens is, so next I am initializing the values into n is equal to 5, j is equal to 2. Then I am printing the n by j values. Then I am printing the n by j values. So n by j means 5 by 2. So 5 by 2 value is 5 by 2 value is 2. And then 5 by 1. So 5 by 1 value is 5. So whenever we execute the I is equal to 0 condition, then I am getting the exception. Then I am getting the exception. Then I am getting the exception. So immediately control goes to the corresponding catch block. Whenever the j is equal to 0 statement execute, then the exception arises. Then the control goes to the catch block. So in the catch block, so we are printing the exception object E. So that is exception. So this is the concept of nested try block. So do you have any doubts in this? So here in this program, we are going to illustrate the concept of nested try block. The try block consists of another try block. So let us move to the another concept. So I have not shared the output. Comment prompt share avvatleda? అంతా అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు చెప్తున్నారు. ఇది ఒకసారి అవుట్పుట్ చూడండి, చెక్ చేయండి. ఇప్పటిదాకా నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసింది మొత్తం పోయింది. సో ఆ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ కరస్పాండింగ్ అవుట్పుట్ ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయండి. ఎక్కడ ఎక్సెప్షన్ అరైజ్ అయింది, ఇన్నర్ ట్రై బ్లాక్లో ఎక్సెప్షన్ ఎక్కడ వచ్చింది, అవుటర్ ట్రై బ్లాక్లో ఎక్సెప్షన్ ఎక్కడ వచ్చింది. ఒకసారి అవుట్పుట్ని ప్రోగ్రామ్ని చెక్ చేయండి ప్యారలల్గా. So in what conditions these nested try blocks will be used? See this one, nested try block is used in the cases where a part of block may be cause one error and the entire block may cause another error. So this means that outer try block can cause some error, that means some exception, and the inner try block can have the another exception. So whenever we come across these type of exceptions, we can use the nested try block, the try block within the another try block. So next one is rethrowing exception. That means, so whenever the exception is printed, we are going to rethrow it. That means we have the keyword throw. We have the keyword throw. So we have the keyword throw as well as throws. We have the keyword throw as well as throws. So throw keyword can be used as a part of the method. Throws keyword can be used along with the method header. Throws keyword can be used along with the method header. So throw keyword can be used within the method. Within the method we can, so is there any situation to throw the exception, we can use the keyword throw and we can throw the exception. So in user defined exceptions also we can throw the exception by using the new operator, new throw exception name, user defined exception name. So here what we are going to do is rethrowing exception. That means we are going to throw that exception again. That means, so let us see the program here. Suppose here, see that catch block. So in the catch block, so there is an exception, arithmetic exception is raised. So here in this catch blocks, already arithmetic exception is handled here. So again, we are going to throw that exception. After handling that exception also, we are going to throw that exception by using the throw keyword. By using the throw keyword, we can throw that exception. So that can be possible in Java. So let us see one program regarding that. So check here. So class name is rethrow, main class, main method. This is the array element 6,7, and then I have used the try block corresponding to this catch blocks. So in the try block, I have written the entered inner block, same program, previous program only. I am going to print that array, exiting the inner block, and then if any exception arises, the control goes to the catch block. So in the catch block, I am going to handle the array index out of bounds exception. The exception object is E, system.out.println E. I am printing that exception, and then I am printing some printf statement, exiting inner block and throwing again, rethrowing. So I am throwing the exception like this by using the throw keyword. So already I am going to print, I am printing that exception E, even though I am throwing that exception, throw E. So rethrowing means after handling that exception within the catch block, we can throw the exception, throw E. The exception object is E. So exception object is thrown to the main method. That is throw E, rethrowing. So rethrowing exception. So let us see the output, what happens. Java C, program name is rethrow.java, rs java rethrow. So check this program. So entered inner try block. So that is printed. So we are going to printing the array elements. 6, 7 array elements are printed. So next, whenever the I value becomes 2, then the exception erased. Then the control goes to the catch block. So exiting inner block will not be executed. So catch block. So I am printing the exception object. So this is the exception object. I am printing the exception object. So after printing that exception object, I am printing the exiting the inner block and throwing. So that statement also printed. So again, what we are going to do is, again I am going to throw that exception. Again I am going to throw that exception. So the exception object is E. So that is printed. So this is how the exception is printed. This is how the exception is printed. So that means while compiling the program, we are getting some errors. So in this fashion, the errors will be displayed. So in this fashion, the exception will be displayed. So the exception is in the thread main java.language.array index out of bound. So index 2 out of bounds for length 2 at the rethrow.main. So line 10, we got the exception. In the line 10, we are getting the exception. So this is how we can rethrow the exception. Same here. So same here, same thing is printed. So we are going to handling that exception. So even though we are handling that exception, we are going to rethrow the exception. So there are some situations where we have to rethrow the exceptions. So there is a concept of rethrowing also. So this is how we can rethrow the exception. This is how we can rethrow the exception by using the exception object E. Anything, object name can be anything. We can use the keyword throw. We can use the keyword throw. So this is the rethrowing. So this is the end of the exception handling. This is the end of the exception handling. So this is the end of the 4th unit. So we have completed the 4th unit. So this is the 4th unit. So this is the unit 4. So unit 4 consists of 2 units, packages as well as exception handling. Packages and exception handling. So we have completed the packages as well as exception handling. So in the packages, we have seen the user defined packages and predefined packages. So in the predefined packages, we have seen the lang package as well as util package and time package. So in the exception handling, we have seen the try block, catch block, finally block, throws keyword, and the inheritance concepts in the exceptions and throwable class. And we have seen the try with resources. And then we have seen the checked exceptions as well as unchecked exception. So this is the end of the 4th unit. So we have completed the 4th unit. So then coming to the 5th unit. So we have left with the unit 5. So unit 5 consists of 3 subunits. So unit 5 consists of 3 subunits: string handling in Java, multi-threaded programming, and then Java database connectivity. Java database connectivity. So we have another 3 units to be completed: string handling in Java, multi-threaded programming, and Java database connectivity. So these are the contents of the 5th unit. So we can start the 5th unit from Monday. So we can complete the syllabus as early as possible. So I think you got the messages. So from July 1st week, we will have the exams. So internals as well as externals. And then we have to submit the assignments, and we have to complete the lab programs also. Internal lab exam as well as external also. So from Monday onwards, the timetable will change. So there may be a possibility of a 9 to 5. There is a possibility of 9 to 5. So in the timetable, you may have the lab sessions also. You may have the lab sessions also. For in the semester, we you have three labs and 5 subjects. So complete the assignments already for all the subjects. Complete the assignments and submit whenever you come to the college. So be prepared to come to the college in the July 1st week. So be prepared. So any doubts regarding this? So unit-wise questions are placed up to the 4th unit. So textbook PDFs already placed in the Edmodo group. YouTube videos are already link is placed in the Edmodo group. And then for material, first 2 units materials are placed in the Edmodo group. And then practice programs. All the practice programs are placed in the, whatever the programs I explained in the class are placed in the Edmodo group under the lecture programs. So all the materials and all the things are placed. So this is the syllabus. So any doubts? So while coming to the colleges, any fee dues are there? You have to come along with your fee dues. Some pending fees are there. So come with fee details. So Java programming lab, we have not yet touched the Java programming lab. So even though we have practiced the programs while taking the classes also, we have explained the so many programs, so many concepts we have explained through the programs. So here we have so many lab cycles to complete. First lab cycle. So first basics of Java program, printing the default values of primitive data types and roots of the quadratic equation, and then 5 bikers, some arithmetic operations, then operations, expressions, control flow, and strings. So, okay, any doubts? Okay, thank you. We can continue in the next sessions.